Eamon, cheers again for giving us the time. First, congratulations on last week's tips. Did we learn anything new from the Manchester Derby, which you correctly called as a win for United?
Well, I think it was an interesting game. It was a messy game, really, and there was a lot of crowd trouble and distractions from the real business of football. I think we learned that Manchester United can play less than their best side and still win away from home against City. They didn't pick Jones, didn't pick Smalling, and I didn't think the team they picked looked very good on paper. Kagawa is not yet fit. He's another player they have to come back. And with all of that, they were still able to beat City. And I think that's very, very significant in terms of where the championship is going to end up, because they will have City at home at Old Trafford in the second half of the season. The 6 points clear at the moment of them. So personally, I've written Manchester City off from the start of the season as potential winners of the championship. That game confirmed my view. I don't think United were startling. I think they've got major problems defensively, but they will undoubtedly get very much stronger in the second half of the season when they have all their players available. Vidic comes back this weekend, so they're firm favourites for the title. That's what we learned more than anything else.
Next, Chris Hughton is not on the list for RT Sports Manager of the Year award. Given that he took Birmingham to the playoffs and is doing a fine job at Norwich, should he be on the list?
Well, I'm not so sure that he should be. I mean, it's a very, very elite list this year with Katie Taylor and Rory McIlroy, so many amazing world-class athletes on it. So I don't think he should be on that list, but I think when you add the fact that he got promoted with Newcastle, he took Newcastle to promotion, he should certainly be very high on the shortlist if Trapattoni is sacked, which is very likely to happen in the spring when we play Sweden and Austria in the World Cup qualifiers. So when we're looking for the next Irish manager, I think Chris Hughton is very much one who should be in the frame and probably should be favourite. He's done a brilliant job at Norwich, he did a good job at Birmingham, and he did an outstanding job at Newcastle as well.
And finally, this week's tips.
Now, this week's tips, we had a good week with our draws last week. We got 2 out of 3, which is a 10-1 double up, and of course United won at 5-2, which was an amazing price. This week, the draws, I fancy Stoke and Everton to draw. Everton away from home will play very tight. Stoke always play tight. It'll be a very close match. And the West London derby, QPR Fulham, I also think there's a very strong chance that will end in a draw. So that would be a draw double. I can't find another draw this week. There'd be a double and pay 10-1 if it comes up. I think I've got a treble, which I think has a very good chance of coming up. I'll start with the Monday night match, which is Arsenal away to Reading. Because they've had such a bad time, Arsenal, of it recently, there'll probably be a very decent price. But Reading, I think, are certain to be relegated. I think they're a poor team. And if Arsenal have their best side, I think, or anything like it, I think they'll win that match. So Arsenal, number 1. Manchester United to beat Sunderland at home would be the second leg of a treble. And Liverpool play at home to Aston Villa. Now Villa are on the edge of the relegation battle. They're a very young team. I think Liverpool will have too much for them. They don't have really goals in them, Villa. They've got one striker up front. I think it'll be easier for Liverpool's defence to cope with him, and I think Liverpool will win. So the win treble will be Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal Monday night, and the double Stoke Everton to draw, QPR Fulham to draw.
Eamon, thanks again for your time.
My pleasure.